What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new post-commentary duel video. We've got Shaddoll Trains on the left versus DDD on the right. I am currently playing DDD on the right. My brother is fighting Shaddoll Trains on the left. I think this is the first duel video going up for the new format. New ban list is out. If you guys haven't checked it out, I made a video reacting to all the changes made. I thought it was a great ban list. Obviously, some people disagree, as always. But yeah, really excited for the new format going forward. Going to be doing a lot of new deck profiles and new decks on the channel. Going to get Burning Abyss out there and update a lot of decks that have been affected, mainly some Mech Knight decks. But yeah, also real quick shout out to our lovely sponsor, Imperium Duelist. You guys hear me say it all the time, providing beautiful gaming accessories like custom effect sleeves and non-effect sleeves, playmats like the one you see here, the Dragon Scale playmat. We haven't used this one in quite some time. Figured I'd bust it out because I forgot just how much I like the color scheme on it. And yeah, if you want to get products from them for 10% off, you can check out the stuff in the description below for more information. But anyways, without further ado, we have me getting started here, going first against Shaddoll Trains. I believe I won the dice roll. And it's sort of interesting with this matchup, mainly because, you know, both decks, one wants to go first, one really wants to go second. And we always play these matches out blind, essentially, as I may know what he's playing, but you just sort of have to act like you don't know and sort of keep it like as if it was a blind match or you'd come up to against a random tournament or something like that. Just sort of keep things a little bit more fair. And not make me go second when I should always be trying to go first with the build the way I've been playing it. You'll see the Kepler and Copernicus going into Electromite. You saw me earlier, Where Art Thou for a Lamia. I've been loving Where Art Thou in the main deck. It grabs so many good cards, and I think it's a good alternative for Pot of Desires for me personally. And I think going forward, I'm definitely going to continue to play it. And it is a bit unfortunate because I'm going to take 2,000 damage here at the end phase, unless of course I decide not to. I could leave a D-Arc on board and put myself up to 10,000 if I so choose to, but sort of just playing out as if I would be playing against any other deck that maybe isn't a vicious OTK deck via burn and sheer damage, but just gonna play it out normally. So, you know, Electromite going in here, obviously giving me a nice link too with some down arrows. And using that Lamia with Swirl Slime to go into our first fusion, which is going to be Genghis. Now, I have that scale in hand, and I think I probably should have done this earlier, and I guess it really doesn't matter a whole lot. I was thinking I was going to go for a Pendulum play, because right here, I believe I draw into Ragnarok a little early, and I wanted to use the Pendulum Scale effect of Electromite, not only to get a draw, but to get a guaranteed dark card to my hand to resolve that allure with. And I think I ended up drawing into Ragnarok. And with Ragnarok and Copernicus in hand, I could set up some Pendulum plays because I do have Dark Worm in the extra deck. I could try to set up some sort of Pendulum play there. But I decided not to and just play the Ragnarok in the scale to start. Obviously, I could have played it earlier, perhaps, for a Fusion Summon play and use its effect to revive something out of grave, but I decided not to. I go for a bit of a different route here, using Necro Slime now to banish itself and Swirl Slime to summon out D-Arc Oracle, and that is going to trigger Genghis here on that summon, bringing out Lamia. Now, a couple options I could do here would be to A, go into Meteor Burst Dragon to revive the Ragnarok, or I could go into Gale Alexander and make some more plays that way, but here, trying to set up, again, a bit of a different play here. I go for Meteor Burst to revive Ragnarok and revive a Ragnarok from grave that I had pitched earlier off of a 1-for-1. So now I have a possible rank 8 play here. Now, I could also go into a Crystal Wing using Lamia and Meteor Burst and possibly leaving D-Arc on the field while having a rank 8 play. Actually, no, technically I wouldn't be able to do that because my extra deck zones would be clogged at that point. So I guess it's sort of one way or the other. Instead, I opt to go for the rank 7 Absolute Dragon and using that and Electrum to go into Metaltron and triggering the effect of Absolute Dragon to summon out Adai's Vortex Dragon, giving me essentially here 2 negations with Felgrand or protection and 1 other negation with Vortex. And my extra deck is upside down right now. I believe I have 2 pendulums in the extra deck, so my Vortex Dragon is live going into this turn. And even if I knew in advance he was playing against Trains, I would still be you know, hoping to think that double negation would be okay to stop some key things, you know, like the Gustav Max, maybe a Derek Rain or Urgent Schedule or some things like that. But to start, he's got Raigeki, which actually is a huge thorn in my sides, because that is obviously going to immediately burn the Vortex Dragon. Of course, I could chain Felgrand to protect Vortex Dragon, but then I lose Felgrand and I lose Metaltron, and that opens me up to a lot worse of a situation, because then he can just clear a bunch of other cards and just poke directly at that point. So he ends up going into Gustav Max and detaching here. Now I'm at 6,000 life points already from the, you know, Where Art Thou? So taking another 2,000 here, it sort of almost doesn't matter as much. I take the 2,000, it drops me down to 4, and I'm at so low life points at this point. You know, I could let the 2,000 burn damage go through, and now the Derek Rain is gonna go off. And you know, if I don't like protect Felgrand from the Derek Rain and negate the Gustav, then I just lose my Felgrand anyways, or I lose the Vortex Dragon. And then he just proceeds to go into Juggernaut Lieb, and that just pokes over everything for plenty enough damage. Still having all those extra cards in hand, the Barrage Blast and the Pegasus, for plenty of follow-up plays for, you know, possible turn 3, or turn would be 5 for him, I believe. Turn 4. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for game 1. I'm going into game 2 here. I'm going to have to go first again. Allure of Darkness digging me a little deeper, banishing what looks to be the, I forget its name actually, the Oblivion King, Armageddon King, I'm not sure, the one that can summon itself out from a Pendulum Zone by banishing 2 DDDs, or 2 DDs in Grave. I like to play it as a one-of because it is a name, it's an extra fusion target, a foolish target. It can come out as a level 7 to make a level 8 Synchro if need be. It can come in handy sometimes. I haven't really had any problems with it. And right here, it's just doing a good job by being an Allure of Darkness target, sort of saving the other cards in my hand from being banished. So, not too bad overall. I did open up pretty bad this game, I should say. The Lure didn't help fix my hand, and the Copernicus really has to put in a lot of work here. I have no 1-for-1, no other way to get any other level 1 on the field, like, you know, mainly just Kepler, really, no way to get to Kepler, so I have to send the Swirl Slime to the grave, and I have to make a link here because I want that Necro Slime in grave to be able to make a possible fusion later. And I go into Land Pharynchus, and here I believe I end up having to use an early Lamia, sending DD Ghost to the graveyard, which is actually nice. The DD Ghost setup here is really nice because it allows me to put another Necro Slime in grave for a potential next turn, and I can recycle that Swirl Slime and put it back to my grave with the DD Ghost as well, because that's what it does when it is banished, and that helps set me up for next turn because it puts an extra Necro Slime in grave, recycles the Swirl, so I have a really nice fusion setup for next turn and the ability to summon something from hand. The only thing I have to do is worry about surviving. So I'm going to be able to end on a Land Pharynchus, Link 2 basically, and a Siegfried or level 8 Synchro at this point, and 1 set card, which I believe is Called by the Grave. I'm not entirely sure. It might be just another Allure of Darkness or something as a bluff. But he go ahead and gets started with the Revolving Switchyard. Not using its effect yet, just playing it onto the field, and then going to, I believe, follow up here with a Instant Fusion play in just a moment, which is really unfortunate for me because Instant Fusion means a couple things. I think he was going to use it, but decides not to, perhaps in fear of Siegfried negating, because he does have to discard for cost, but either way, Instant Fusion coming down, and that's just going to force out the negation from Siegfried. I'll take the 1,000 gladly, because I know that if I let the Instant Fusion go through 1,000, Ice Restrict is going to come out, and that's going to take Siegfried, and that's going to go into a Link Karibo for him, which is no bueno. Now using Revolving Switchyard, and normal summoning the Night Express Knight, which I actually don't believe he does first. I think he has an urgent schedule in hand, which he ends up playing first, which is just not good for me at this point. Even though I am at a full 8,000, I do have a Siegfried and all of these things, but like dealing with this massive OTK power and play potential that Shaddoll Trains has, it's pretty tough to even stop with just a couple of negates, because there's so many power plays, so many big beaters that just hit the field with ease. It's just overwhelming at some point. So urgent schedule coming down and summoning out a level 5 or lower and level 5 or higher Earth machines, going for Railcar and Express Bullet Train. Getting those to the grave is easy link to materials, and those will also proc in the end phase to get him searches, adding back from grave and adding from deck to hand, setting him up for next turn. Goes ahead and normal summons Night Express Knight, and he could have procced another Derek Crane off the Summon of Genius, but going ahead and use Derek Crane here to be able to go ahead and go into Gustav Max. And I called by the Derek Crane in grave. Arguably, you know, I should have called by, because technically Derek Crane has to reveal itself. I technically could have probably called by it in the grave, but here's why it almost doesn't matter, because he still has one more card left in his hand that would technically have let him complete a rank 10 play, and you'll see it here in just a moment. And that is the Express Bullet Train, another copy, which he can summon from his hand via its own effect. Now, he didn't realize here, but he could have used Clifford Genius effect to negate something, to negate Bullet Train, so that it too could have attacked without having to send 2 cards. But either way, that's plenty enough damage that he can deal there and put me to game, even without using a Where Art Thou. The 2,000 and then the 6,000 attacking over monsters or attacking directly, in most cases, just game, because you can either attack over a bunch of monsters with really little attack, or you can clear something with a Derek Crane that's in your way and swing for 6k direct. Yeah, it's a pretty tough matchup. It can go off the rails really quickly, so to speak. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this duel video. I know it was a little bit shorter, but it was one of these matchups I feel like could have gone a little bit differently. I don't know. A DDD is a deck that can make a lot of negates turn 1, but sometimes they can be broken pretty easily given the right circumstances, like Regeki or Instant Fusion come down, you know, and they put, you know, a thorn in your sides, they put a kink in your play, and things sort of go south from there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist, check out my Twitter, Facebook, join Discord, follow me on Twitch if you haven't already, be much appreciated. And as always, guys, Winner Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.